Time for Law and Disorder.
I demand a lawyer.
With attorney Jeff Kaufman on 101.1 WJRR.
We are Orlando's rock station. Jeff, a partner at Kaufman Lynd, fine firm here locally. If you've been injured in a slip and fall car accident, something of that nature, need some assistance, guidance, suggestions, reach out to Jeff. Great resource.
Direct email for Jeff is jeff@whenyouneedus.com. That's jeff@whenyouneedus.com or pound 546 on your cell. Speaking of his email, jeff@whenyouneedus.com, if you want to go and check out Aquaman, you're doing that, right?
Yeah, at the end of the month, we're taking about 500 people. Actually, the theater's going to be a little short. It's 250, so get it in as quickly as possible.
Jeff@whenyouneedus.com. All you have to send is your name, your number, and then
email address. That's it.
An email address, obviously. You'll see that when they send it. But and then the number of people that you want to go with you, up to 4 max, right?
Between 2 and 4. Yeah.
For Aquaman, again, Jeff@whenyouneedus.com.
Questions coming in this morning?
You know it,
for Mr. Kaufman here.
Legal question. Can I get a lawsuit against the playoff selection committee? Hold on. I thought it was a joke, too, when I first saw it. I was like, okay, I totally get it. I feel for FSU because it's total BS what happened. But then they said, because I had FSU to win it all at preseason odds. Well, this is gambling related.
No, I get it. Here's the thing. College football is not responsible for your gambling bets or anything else. For example, they do this all the time where they say, well, the refs did me on right. You know, at the end, I had the under over, or I had them to beat by 2, and it was a bad call. I mean, this is simply a bad call. I mean, or a good call, whichever side you're supporting. I mean, it's kind of silly when you think about it, but, nobody can be sued over this. 11 people vote, and that's it. Or I think it's 12.
13.
13 people vote. They got in a room. Where was it? In Texas? Is that where the vote
Wherever
happened?
the hell they were.
Yeah, they walked into the hotel, and they were like going, now, just so everyone knows, here's the problem. They said, we are voting on the team that's best as of today, which means that only the last game matters.
Which is a total load.
Which means that, forget it. Anybody can say, I have 7 losses, but I'm the best team now. So you realize how silly that is.
I do, definitely.
So, whoever you root for, you have to realize that sooner or later you're going to get screwed by the money. And they put Alabama in for the money.
And that's it. I think even if you're not an FSU fan, Pat, do you agree with me on this? Even if you're not an FSU fan, you'd still take a look at that decision and say,
Yeah, Power Conference. It's never happened before.
What do you think, Pat?
Undefeated Power Conference. Whether you like them or not, whether you hate them or not, you're going, that'd be like Miami getting screwed, or Florida getting screwed, or anybody getting screwed in the same position who's part of these huge conferences. I can understand if you don't play anybody all year round and you're in one of these small conferences, but you're in the ACC or you're in the SEC. And that's, I guarantee if this happened to Alabama, there'd be fires being set.
The only thing I'll say is I think the committee covers their butts because it's listed as one of the things that they take into consideration, the injury situation with any given team. And boy, oh boy, did they take advantage of that little out to make their final decision. That said, there's a lot of puppeteering going on behind the scenes in college football. ESPN, Kirk Herbstreit. Anyway.
Somebody texts in 13 dumbasses. Question for Jeff. This one just came in too. Can I be denied? Hold on. Now
he lost.
I did, because look at all the texts coming in football wise. Question for Jeff. Can I be denied getting home insurance because of having a Rottweiler, even if he's certified, even if he's a certified service animal?
Certified service animals deal with your ability to take things into places. You can go into shops, you can go on planes, you can do certain things. It has nothing to do with your insurance. There are a couple breeds that aren't protected under insurance policies. Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, Chow Chows. I mean, they're probably the top 5, and Rottweiler's in that one. And while it is a service dog, it's not covered under certain policies, and you can't be forced to.
Don't some insurance companies will give you, if you have one of these dogs,
yes,
they'll let you, they'll insure you
a rider.
You'll have to pay an additional amount.
Some do, some don't offer it. I would call a couple different places. I mean, you can't get your dog insured, and they're going to say, listen, your dog's just not insured. But not being able to get it at all is a little weird.
What if you had a Rottweiler that jumped on trampolines?
Well,
and there was one in
both
the
are considered
backyard.
attractive nuisances, if you're wondering.
I remember looking at my buddy. He had Adobe.
And you had an unfenced pool.
That's it.
Yeah.
He has a Doberman Pinscher currently, and he did at the time, and I looked just past that Doberman and the Rottweiler, or the pit bull that he also had, and I looked just past them and saw the trampoline, and I go, this is an insurance guy's nightmare.
Worst, exactly. The worst thing is this. It happens all the time. You know how many calls I get? You know how many pictures get sent to me of like small children with their faces like taken off?
Oh, God.
And I have to give them the bad news that most likely they're not covered under their insurance. And I would say 95% of the time that happens where you have this major attack and they couldn't cover it because that dog wasn't covered under a homeowner's insurance policy.
This past weekend, I was talking to somebody about dogs and whatever, about our dog, how it bit me a couple times or whatever. And he showed me a video of his wife's dog, or him and his wife's dog, chasing down like a UPS or an Amazon guy and physically tackling and jumping on top of him and biting him. And I was like, what do you do in that case? Yeah. He said, I was throwing money at the guy, begging him, giving him hundreds to overlook it.
Listen, I've seen this. I've seen canine dogs go nuts. And these are highly trained animals. I saw one where the guy was trying to get it off. This guy was spread eagle on the ground, just laying there, and the dog wouldn't get off for like 2 or 3 minutes. And the dog just kept going, and I'm going, and they're screaming commands. And they have a thing called a hot shot, where they're telling other officers to stay away from the dog. We have a hot pop or a hot shot. And that's code for, stay away from the dog. We've lost control of him.
He's a little out there right now.
And that happens when you're having like a seriously trained dog. And these are like German Shepherds, which a lot of these they're covered under insurance. So anytime you have a dog that could do stuff like this, insurance companies are going to go, we're not going to cover it.
Small company owner withheld my final paycheck for over a week and refused to respond to me. Anything that I can do?
Well, they have to pay you. So you're saying that they're holding your check. I mean, if they hold it for 2-3 weeks, the question is, what is the interest on this money? But if they completely tell you they're not paying for it, I'd take them to small claims court.
And something tells me if it's a small company, it's probably not enough. Yeah, it's got to be small claims. Yeah. Morning, guys. A stray bullet hit our home the other day. Since the sheriff can't really catch them, can the shooter be sued? No damage from the bullet.
Of course they can, but the question is, what are you going to get out of it? Right. I mean, if you have mental damages, maybe, and you're going to a therapist because he shot into your house. But cases like this, just because something happens to you, and this happens all the time, I get calls all the time. Well, I'm not hurt, but my feelings are hurt, or something else like that. Yeah, your safety is a big deal, dude. I'm not downplaying this. But first off, the person who shot into your house, if you can prove they did that, I would call everybody. I'd call forget the police. I'd keep calling. I'd call the news. Tell the news people that the police won't cover somebody shooting into your house. So they'll run a story, and this person will have to pay for it, because no way is anybody getting away for shooting into your house.
Problem solvers, right, Lyncher?
Troublemakers.
Troublemakers.
Yes.
Any one of them. There are 3 different things. The police aren't going to arrest somebody who shot into your house. That sounds a little hokey.
Yeah, get in touch with the local news. At what age does a child have a say in what parent they want to live with?
Judges can take that into consideration anytime they want to. The child doesn't get to make the choice, but if they're a lot of times in these situations, a judge will ask. They'll say, let me talk to the child. And if the child is not like 3 or 4 and they're smart enough to be able to give an opinion, they can give an opinion, but the judge doesn't have to follow it.
Like it could be mom has a issue.
I don't do family law anymore. I just do, I just take care of people against the insurance companies. But outside of that, I'm sorry.
Mom's
you're in the
great
situation.
until she drinks her special juice.
As soon as she hits the meth pipe, things go sideways.
Yeah, I think we had him at meth. Okay.
Look up on the TV, Jeff. Your favorite
Can
band.
you stop it, man?
They did announce after their final show. Jeff was supposed to have gone to see Kiss in Toronto.
Actually, during Thanksgiving, the whole vacation was based on going to see Kiss.
And it was one of those.
And Paul Stanley got sick.
Yeah, one of the 3 or 4 shows they canceled when he had the flu.
And the only reason why I pointed it up is because the phrase that you said last week and you were here, I actually quoted you later in the week. They're dead to me.
They're dead.
They will go on in the form of avatars. Was their announcement?
They're dead. And somebody says to me, they're going to be playing in Vegas. And they said they wouldn't be touring again. That doesn't mean they can't have a residency. I'm going, only Gene Simmons would pull that one off.
Yeah,
we're not technically touring. We have a show we do in Vegas.
Existing now in the form of avatars.
Quick question. Best way to not get selected for jury duty?
Okay, I can't give you advice on how racist you want to be.
Could you?
I'm not going to give you advice.
Why do people push back on this? It's part of the deal that goes along with living here, man. I don't get it.
Isn't your license?
Suck it up and go and report for jury duty.
You have to go. Listen, they put me on a jury. That's how tough it is to get off. I actually was looking at these two attorneys. I said, Your Honor, I don't expect to get called. Because it's number one rule, never put an attorney on your jury. But these two chuckleheads thought it was a good idea.
And did you get? So you
I
got
actually sat there.
How
I had
long
to
was
sit
the
there.
trial?
It was 4 days.
Yeah, most people don't want to go do that, but come on, it's we all. Anyway,
it's a civic duty. But if you have a reason, for example, you have an issue against for example, let's say it's a insurance case where it's a car accident case, and you go, listen, I hate the billboard attorneys. I hate this. I hate that. I can never look unfairly. If you're biased, they're not going to put you on the jury.
No.
And if they say, well, if you're instructed not to be biased and you're still like, listen, I got issues.
I can tell you.
I'm not telling you to lie. That's a way to get off. I'm just saying that's normally what happens in a court, that normally people get booted because they can't get past their biases.
I know we have to wrap it up right now. The last time that I was there, this kid walked up and he looked dead at the attorney and then at the cop after he said, I do not get along with law enforcement. I hate cops. And looked at the cop, and they go ahead and leave.
Well, that would have been successful if it was a criminal trial.
I wish you would have hit him
if it's a civil trial, you can't get away with it.
I wish they would have tased his ass.
You can reach out to Jeff anytime directly, Jeff at When You Need Us. Jeff at WhenYouNeedUs.com, and he can tell you whether or not your situation warrants a legal representation or a court case or whatever. He'll be straight up with you.
Took the words out of my mouth. Jeff at WhenYouNeedUs.com or pound 546 on your cell.
Take care, gentlemen.
Jeff Kaufman from Kaufman Lynd. Thank you, sir.